With WWE removing Sasha Banks and Naomi from their internal roster, this is Wrestling Hub. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report for July 7th. Before we get into the rest of the video, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Hub and turn on all notifications to stay up to date with everything in the world of pro wrestling. Also, don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Wrestling Hub Official and follow us on Twitter at Wrestling_Hub. Chris Benoit would end up trending on Twitter thanks to comments from Impact Knockouts champion Jordan Grace. It started with a user writing, "It's always wild listening to wrestlers discuss Chris Benoit in a professional context, because they always be sure to note they aren't excusing what happened before praising his in-ring stuff for 10 minutes. Except New Jack." Grace responded, "This is going to be the coldest take I ever tweet on this app. I already know y'all going to be mad. I don't think Benoit could 100% hang with most of the present day best wrestlers. He would not be able to remember matches. Also, may he burn in hell. Amen. Maybe I'm biased because he murdered his family, I don't know. Probably just me. I think we should all hate him and disregard his entire body of work. But again, that's just my take. I always found it revolting to see people praise his wrestling after what he did. Proving a point, I said something very lightly critical about him, people jumped to defend him. He should never be defended. Dude lost that right when he gave his 7-year-old Xanax and strangled him while he was already unconscious." Gail Kim joined the conversation saying, "Controversial for sure. I disagree though with the take of hanging with the best of the best today. He most certainly could. And I saw someone comment Kurt Angle couldn't either. He would mop the floor with everyone. Wrestling is subjective. Benoit to me was an intense wrestler's wrestler. I loved his aggression as well. I enjoyed most of his matches. Depends on opponent, I suppose." Coming out of Blood and Guts, AEW President Tony Khan noted that Santana will be out of action, saying on Busted Open Radio, "So he is injured and it's unfortunate, and obviously it's a very dangerous match. And going into it, we knew injuries were a possibility, and Santana's a great pro wrestler. He's been part of a great team with Ortiz. We really value him, and I did speak to him after. I know he's injured. We're going to stand by Santana, support him through the injury and do what we can. It's the right thing to do. Of course, hopefully it won't be too long, but I think it could be a relatively long injury. So it could be a while that Santana is out, but we're here for him for whatever he needs and certainly appreciate everything he's done for AEW. It is unfortunate that the Blood and Guts match does come with injuries, and it was a knee injury that he suffered, and hopefully he'll be back relatively soon." Tony Khan also confirmed the buy rate for AEW's recent Forbidden Door event. The pay-per-view was a huge success. We estimate about 127,000 buys right now, and still with replay buys trickling in, it was ahead of all projections and expectations. And I absolutely would love to do it again, and I think that we will do it again going forward, I anticipate. Talking about his former associate in MJF, Wardlow told the Wrestling Classic about his behavior in and out of the ring. "We were together for 3 years. He was the first 3 years of my career. He was a big part of my career. So if anybody is allowed to touch on the subject, it probably is me. But I'll just say this, he's not a good person. He really is a piece of shit. It was not enjoyable working with him. He puts me through more stress than anything. And his behavior inside of the business and outside of the business is unacceptable. But that's all I'm going to say about that." Speaking of the comparisons made between D-Generation X and the New World Order, DX member Road Dogg told Chris Van Vliet, "I get the comparison. I think they came at the same time. I just think one of them looked to me, and of course I'm biased because I was in one. I just thought DX was kind of cool because we were distinct, and that was us. I felt like they added people every chance they got, split into different subgroups. I liked it when it was just Hogan and the Outsiders. You know what I mean? It just felt like the NWO got kind of bastardized." Despite earning a shot at Bianca Belair's Raw Women's title, Rhea Ripley has been sidelined with a brain injury. With a fan calling for her to be abused on Twitter, she responded, "Hi, Demi here. The real-life human inside Rhea Ripley. Just wanted to point out that wrestlers and any form of entertainer is a real-life human off-screen. Don't wish harm on anyone. Don't wish for anyone to be buried. Don't wish for anyone to be fired. Disgrace." With many members of the Dark Order such as Stu Grayson and Alan Angels being released from AEW, it was said that another was set to not have his contract renewed, as Fightful said. We're told by numerous AEW talent that they caught wind several months ago that there was word that Colt Cabana's deal with the company was not being renewed. Cabana is an extremely popular person backstage, both from his work in AEW and outside, and we've heard that numerous talents voiced their displeasure and went to bat for Cabana. Since then, he'd ended up working the ROH Supercard event. Speaking about heavyweight boxing champion Tyson Fury, who he is expected to face at Clash at the Castle in Cardiff, Wales, Drew McIntyre told Wrestling Inc., maybe. Fury gets it when it comes to entertainment. You see his character, how outspoken he is, very much like a pro wrestler, sports entertainer. When he was with us, he had such a respect and passion for our industry. As previous reports indicated that Fury is talking to WWE about a return, it remains to be seen when it takes place. On his Hall of Fame podcast, Booker T gave his prediction for how Mr. Money in the Bank Theory will cash in to become champion. He could beat Roman Reigns. He could beat anybody in the card if the situation is right. I mean, if a person is unconscious when I cash in, who loses? Exactly. So you just got to know. If you book it properly, Theory, he's not going to be one of the guys who got the briefcase and didn't cash it in and win it. I just don't see that happening. This kid got way too much upside for something like that to happen. It was recently discovered that Buff Bagwell's social media accounts had been operated by another person, with that man being fired. In an update on the situation, Buff took to YouTube to say, as you know, the last 3 or 4 months I've been trending over a lot of great things and having a lot of fun doing it. But the last few weeks, it seems like I've been trending over some things that are not so great, and so today I wanted to come out and clear some things up and apologize about several things. Unfortunately, a guy named Michael Long that was helping me with my merchandise dropped the ball, and a lot of fans did not receive certain merchandise that they've ordered. And to all those fans, I do apologize from the bottom of my heart and want you to know that I did not receive or see any of that money. When asked who had a brighter future between AEW's Sammy Guevara and WWE's Theory, Jim Cornette said on his Drive-Thru podcast, Austin Theory obviously has a brighter future than Sammy Guevara, unless either one of them messes up in some kind of personal way or suffers some kind of injury, which with Sammy's style may not be far-fetched. But just taking into account who they are right now, what they look like going forward, Theory is already with the biggest company in the world, and already they've decided, even though they don't know how to do it anymore, they've decided they're going to push him and try to make him a star. Theory not only has Sammy on size and physique, but also his work. Sammy does all the insane stuff, but Theory, that's what compelled me to watch and begin with, was that he's got the basics down. He's got the little things down. He has the body language and reaction. He's a natural worker. With Wrestling Entertainment Series set for their inaugural event this weekend at Motor Point Arena in England, reports recently noted that there have been less than 350 tickets sold. Now they've made this announcement. Dear fans and followers, unfortunately we will have to cancel the event scheduled for this Saturday at the Motor Point Arena. We are deeply disappointed in the news that we have to share, but with so many talents not showing up, we will have no choice than to cancel the event. Our team works so hard on this event, day in and day out, for the fans to come with a different type of wrestling event, and believe that we will still be able to show that in the near future. We do want to say that all of our talent that was scheduled have been paid in full, and Alina Fanine, Nia Jax, was paid her deposit as well while she changed her mind and did not want to show up and wrestle anymore. For now, we will have to apologize for this, but we promise that it will not end here. See you soon. Former WWE star Braun Strowman replied, straight garbage, to try and blame talent for not showing up. I'm not a stooge, but the truth will come out. Y'all are good at finding it. Strowman and Nia Jax were both originally set to be at the event, as more details will hopefully emerge regarding this. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer gave fans an update on 3 AEW stars and when they can be ready to return to action. Punk probably, I don't know when the time frame is, and I think they are trying not to let you know, but I'm pretty sure he'll be back. You know, surgery for a broken foot, it's a couple months, but it's not like 6 months, you know, so he probably won't be that long. I'm very concerned with Danielson, obviously, because, you know, when you have the number of concussions he's had, and he's been out now for, we're about 5 weeks in, right? And you start worrying that at 5 weeks of a concussion, this may be a real bad situation. I know in real life and everything like that, he's fine, he can function, he can do everything. But me, as far as like being cleared to wrestle, I don't know anything. No one knows. It is going to be like, again, getting cleared from a concussion can be any time. There's no time frame. But the fact that it's been this long is very concerning. And Adam Cole's going to be out for a while. After being suspended by WWE for their walkout on Raw over a month ago, Naomi and Sasha Banks have not been seen on programming since. Now, a new report has come out with it said that, while there has been no official indication they have been released, PWInsider.com can confirm that both Sasha Banks and Naomi were removed from WWE's internal roster over the last 24 hours. And this was your pro wrestling news update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you later.